Alright. Third deck of the day. We're playing out Hexaris's donation deck list. Jeskai control. Just playing her Hexaris's 75. Got some Teferis and some Rows to win the game with. We've got a Devious Cover-Up loop. Seems kind of expensive, but seems kind of a sweet way to like deck people out and control mirrors. I don't know, seems fun. Got lots of sweepers against the creature decks. We do want to hit our land drops. This doesn't have a second blue source, which is pretty awkward. If one of these was a blue source, I would absolutely heap this. As it is, it's like, you need to hit your land drops with control decks, so it's kind of hard to ship hands like this on that basis. But we also just don't do anything. We've got like Chemister's Insights in our deck, so it's not like we're that punished for mulliganing. I think I'm just going to mull this. This is fine, we've got Scatter on 2, just need to hit our land drops. We've got some good follow-ups. Seems like a very reasonable hand. I really want an Insight at some point, but I also really want land drops. More than anything. Oh my god. Phil, jeez. Ooh, is this a control mirror? Our hand's actually a bit awkward in a control mirror. In a control mirror, you mainly want to hit your land drops more than anything. If that's what's going on here. Like, control mirrors are such that the 7 honestly wouldn't be like terrible here, just because we'd be guaranteed our land drop every turn for the rest of the game. Alright, white source is great. Means we can answer a Row or a Izzet. Most likely the Drake deck. Yeah, it could be the Drake deck, that is true, Conan. Ooh, Ionize is great. Opponents playing strange lands in their green-black deck. They sure are. What is this black-green deck? Where are your overgrown tombs? Alright, we really need an Insight so we can keep hitting our land drops here. Got a decent amount of counter magic, so we've got some amount of play against whatever they cast. Awesome. I'm not slamming the Row. They have so much mana open. Don't really want to make it too easy for them to answer Row. And I don't think I'm shocking myself either. We'll let us hold up Scatter plus Ionize, but I don't think I'm too concerned about them resolving a Drake if such a thing happens. As soon as I change deck, I run into other decks. It's how it was meant to be. Izzet. Oh, this is looking pretty spicy right now. Oh. Please don't have Blink of an Eye in your deck, I guess. Please don't have Blink of an Eye. If they have Blink of an Eye, we're in a lot of trouble, but otherwise, if Izzet's stuck in a cage. So there's only a 0-4 at the moment. So unthreatening. That is an expensive Wall of Omens. It is indeed. Now we get to, like, go off of the search. I didn't cast the Row, because I kind of want to hold up mana in their next turn. And, also didn't want to play into, like, a Syncopate, if they have one. And the search seems pretty great for us, honestly. You did call it, okay? You got it right. So we're really looking for insights here more than anything. I think I meant to keep a land drop. It's like not exciting. I do want to flip search at some point. Probably meant to keep a land drop. Yeah, we can copy our own spells with expansion, that's true, like copy and Ionize. That is neat. I think I'm just going to keep this. Hitting our land drop is kind of nice, we're not under that much pressure. It's like a bit of pressure, but... honestly, this card's a bit scary at the moment. It's only pecking away for 1 a turn, but the moment we try and deal with it, they get to start casting counter magic, and then this will grow. And then, like, Ionizes burn us for 2 as well. Make this into a more relevant clock. Discard then if Izzet. Yep. Sounds about right. So if I keep this, I can go Row with expansion backup. Gets like awkward if they have double counterspell, but then if they have double counterspell next time I get to go Row with Ionize backup. Herm. Like, we kind of have to do something at some point soon. They might just have a bunch of removal and Essence Scatters in hand, in which case, like, this gets some forward momentum going. I think I'm going to do this. We can't just sit here forever. There's, like, a decent chance they just have a bunch of dead cards in hand. In, like, this pre-board game. So now we get to go expansion the Sabotage, copying the Sabotage to target itself. We just hope they don't have a second counter here. If this resolves, the Surveil helps flip Search as well, which is really nice. Helps fuel Row. No! They're casting something. I think they were about to cast something. Uh-huh. That's really... Expansion Explosion looks really good in these control mirrors. Just like, you have a bunch of, like, 2-mana negates in your deck, basically. That, like, aren't dead against opposing, like, mid-range and aggro decks. So that's actually really sweet. Also, we're dead. Whoa, whoa, I was not did they mess that up? I am F3ing as fast as I can. They messed up the counter chain. So we get to take one of these. We take the Teferi. I managed to F3 in time. Just about. Oh my god. How does Rao feel? This is the first time in my life I've cast Rao unconstructed. Seems like fine. It's kind of at risk of dying to this Drake pretty quickly, but it's fueling Azcanta, which is nice. I'm soaking up some damage too. So land lets us go to Teferi Ionize. But we can probably find a land off the Rao if we need to, and I think I want to fuel Azcanta. And like, I also want to find an answer to the Drake that isn't just like minusing Teferi. It's nice that Justice Strike now kills this. I can't remember if we have Justice Strikes on the list. Oh no, we have Lava Coils instead. Okay. Lava Coils, nice. Makes Phoenix easier to answer. But you can play both, Mike. Whoa, we're actually being really punished for not keeping that land, huh? This is kind of fine though. How's Jeskai doing this morning? It's going okay so far. We're in the first game still though. I'm gonna keep this mission briefing and just cast Insight here. We lose the Rao, but I don't think that's the end of the world. I think I just want to like set up a Teferi at some point soon. So I can draw 2, find my land drop. Rao dies, that puts us at 6 cards in yards, then search flips. Yeah, this is good. I'm going to fire off this Insight, dig for my land drop. Right. What are lands? Let's just do this. We have the mission briefing to cast this again next turn, so I don't even care if this gets countered, right? Puts a card in our yard for the search too. So this is fine. This is only bad if they like were to syncopate it, because then we couldn't cast it next turn, but also there's a chance, like, yeah, if we kill the Drake like this, they just can't take down Rao cleanly now, which is great for us. They probably have to like cast another Drake, which taps them really low so that we can resolve a Teferi. Settle the Wreckage, that's fine. I think I just want to flip my search though, because then I have Teferi plus Ionize. Guaranteed. Alright. Cast my Teferi. Opponent has conceded. Sick. That was kind of great. I didn't think we were winning that game. We just like, they just couldn't answer our Rao though. So much card advantage. Yeah, Rao could also kill the Drake since we have a backup Rao, that's true. Oh, that's interesting, Mike. I didn't think of that at all. That's actually kind of neat. Nezahal seems great. I'm kind of scared of those Niv Mizzets. We're not always going to have the binding. We have to bear that in mind. Clarion is clearly bad. Settle is also pretty bad. Yeah, they must have just had a million coils and Sheevan Fires, yep. That sounds about right. So, cards that do not look great. The thing is, we need some of this sort of stuff, because we know they have, like, multiple Niv Mizzets, so I think I need the Novas. Just to help me kill Niv Mizzet, is the problem. So I don't think I can cut those. What are we meant to cut then? Like, what's actually even bad here? We have so many cards we want. The Banefires aren't great, but they can kill Niv Mizzet. Maybe we can cut the Novas because we have the Banefires in post board. Yeah, Scatter only hits Drake, that's true. Like, countering the Drake's nice because then they don't 2-4 on you, but it's like such a medium card otherwise. Could cut the cover-ups. I feel like that would go against the spirit of the donation deck. I do kind of want to cut them because they're like bad against negates. Though. The post-board games are never going to decking because we both just have these absurd uncounterable threats. You bring in Banefire and you cut Settles, Negates for Novas, and you bring in Lyras. I guess Lyra's not terrible either. Yeah, Lyra versus Niv. Also just like, it's hard for them to kill Lyra. I can see that over one of the Novas. Let's try this out. Let's see how this feels. Like, Lyra also sneaks in past Negate, which is kind of nice. Right, we are on the draw. This hand is excellent. Got some interactions, some card advantage, plenty of lands. And it's very, very good. Yeah, they really struggle to kill Lyra. They're basically leaning on Rousarek to kill Lyra post board, right? And if they resolve a Rousarek, we're in trouble anyway. I'm just gonna hold up and negate in case they draw a search for Azcanta this turn. Rather than like playing my Sacred Foundry tapped. They play a Drake here, it's kind of annoying. Can't answer it for a little while. Do I want to draw two? I guess I'd like to have the option. It's like kind of awkward because then we have to potentially discard. Because we don't have that many cheap proactive things we can cast and still hold up and open the gate. I think I'm going to hold off on drawing two on that basis. Like, I might draw two this turn, simply because I want to find a second counterspell, so that I can double negate, like, a Rousarek, if they have one. If they play Niv Mizzet, we have Banefire, which is nice. Let's just fire this off. I'm gonna have to discard, but it's not the end of the world. You can just discard a land here. Hold up, open the gate plus insight. Next turn we can like cast a Planeswalker. Start trying to resolve one. I'm just going to fire this off here, since we're casting a spell on our next turn anyway. Discarding just like doesn't even matter. It's not even a thing that's going to happen. Wow. Oh, they're copying it? That's fine, right? Sure. I guess there is the slight fear that's, we cast a Planeswalker, they counter it, they then get to go Row with counter backup. Which is not great for us. We then get to go to Teferi with counter backup, potentially. Though. Yeah, just keep hitting my land drops. That's my inclination. Just like play this tapped past the turn. I'm like, the thing is I am worried about Niv Mizzet as the game goes along. The more time we give them to like hit land drops and then play a Niv Mizzet, the rougher Niv Mizzet is for us. Teferi first. Kinda like Niv Mizzet first. I want Teferi to be able to answer. My inclination is either cast Row or just pass the turn and discard a card. I think I'm just gonna pass the turn. I'm scared. We like lose a land, but whatever. We're hitting our land drops pretty well regardless. Sure, you draw 2. So they're gonna have to discard 2 if they don't play something in their turn. So both in like the same position here. Hey, friend. Do I just do this now? Can't be too bad, right? We don't get to hold open Negate. But I don't really see what goes wrong. I don't really see what goes wrong here. Cast my whale. My opponent is in for a whale of a time. They probably have 3 strikes in hand. I will draw 3. Flicker my whale. Sounds perfectly acceptable. They have a Niv Mizzet, they kind of just need to jam it, right? They're so far behind against this whale. Then we get to go like Banefire with Negate backup, or Teferi with Negate backup or whatever to answer the Niv Mizzet. Fight with Fire. Resolves. I guess if we let this resolve... Whoa. They're holding priority to copy it. Jeez. This is heckin' nice for us. Just get to like flicker the whale, trade with 2 cards. What are we discarding? We've got plenty of land drops now. I could probably just discard the land. Land, Lava Coil. Fighting whales with fire is not a very effective strategy. We can't draw the other... if we draw the other card first, they can like lightning strike to finish off the whale potentially. I don't think I want to expose the whale like that. What's the other discard? It could just be Disdainful Stroke too. Stroke's not terrible. Yeah, I think it's the stroke. I think I agree with you on that. I just about got there. Like, we're in a point where we just, like, can play things proactively, so we don't really need the stroke. The stroke's not, like, protecting us from much here either. Draw an Ionize, that's great. So we can attack them for 7, play a Planeswalker. And then if they counter the Planeswalker, we get to draw a card. Could also just play Search with double counter backup, that's also fine. Actually sounds pretty great to me as well. And they just die to our Banefire next turn. We get to like draw 2 if they do nothing. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. This seems decent. Sit behind our counter magic, protect our whale with our life. They could Banefire the whale potentially, but then we still get to flicker it. So pretty safe from a Banefire at the moment. They're gonna let us draw a card here, which is awesome. I almost want to counter this, just because, like, there are so few cards that matter at the moment. I'll let it resolve though. And, like, they clearly didn't have, like, a particularly great play last turn with the Nezahal in play. So, like, letting them draw into 1 is not great, but I think we're fine just to let it resolve. If they have a Banefire, we can flicker this anyway. Mono value cards, yeah. This is quite the hand we have right now. Crackling Drake. That is a chump blocker. Whatever, if they fight over this, then we get to resolve a Planeswalker, so this is fine. If they really want to fight over the Crackling Drake, that is a-okay with me. Draw a card. Yeah, now if they counter our Negate, they're just like completely tapped out for our Planeswalkers. This Banefire is going to be nice. To be honest, I think the game was over the moment the Nezahal resolved, but Banefire is still looking decent. Opponent has conceded. Understandable. Well, that was a convincing first match. Jeez. Nezahal. People have forgot about Nezahal. Right. Before we continue with this, I'm just going to pop to the bathroom a moment and get some water. And then we'll hop into our second match of Jeskai control. Currently 1-0. Nice start. Casting some Rouse, some Teferis. Back in just a moment. Alright, I'm back. You never forget about Nezahal. Perfect new score, thank you, Nuclear. Glad you approve. Alright. With all the aggro decks, you want at least 3 Clarions? That's possible. Clarion is very impressive, for sure. The one thing I do kind of wonder, I almost like the idea of like one of these negates being another expansion explosion. This card looks so good. It's like it's like really close to a negate in control mirrors. If someone casts the first counter spell, then the expansion gets to be a negate, which is really sick. Awful dinosaur plushie score. Dinosaur plushie is here. We're not playing Carnage Tyrants at the moment though, Phil. I brought Stompy down so that he could cheer on his Carnage brethren. Hitting opponents' insights of expansion, yeah, that's pretty solid too. 2 mana draw 2. Alright, this hand's really nice. Search into Scatter into Row, just like dreamy. Depending on what we're against, we might have to Scatter on 2 instead of Search, but we will see. I think we're facing the enemy. Here. I just want to run out my Search. I don't have that much I want to counter on 2. I'm gonna like save the counter for a Jade Light Ranger. Get digging with Search. Power up our Row with the Search trigger too. Oh! Well, now I just look really smart. Jeez. Just actually playing a control mirror. We are apparently not against the enemy, as it happens. I'm gonna keep this. Keeping this on top means Search flips a lot slower is the problem. Like, now our Searches are kind of racing. It's kind of awkward, because if we draw... Yeah, if we draw a removal spell after ditching the land, we feel really dumb. That was my fear. But... like, we also just want to flip our Search as fast as possible. Is the tough thing. So we get to take our Row here. So this is the Surveil could potentially help fuel their Search. Yeah, that's fair, Nucleo. It is also a blue source, which we kind of want more of, especially in the mirror. Alright. I think I'm gonna keep this, because we just need to hit our land drops as well. We really need to draw an Ionize at some point, or a Chemister's Insight. Ocean Rain looking A+ here, since we're not really punishing their life total. Alright, well, just need to flip the stupid thing. If we think they're on a control deck, I could just cast the Clarion to get a card in my yard to flip Search sooner. If I was like 100% that they're on a control deck, I'd do that. We don't know for sure. That's the problem. They could just like be like they could just have like Thief of Sanities and stuff in their deck that make us really want access to this. This hand does suck, agree. Just have like expensive creatures that Soot doesn't hit, that is possible. Ooh, they're Grixis. They're Grixis Nicol Bolas. Also, we're dead, incidentally. So now they're like 100% flipping search next turn. Just like actual Grixis control here. Alright, I guess we're putting this in the bin. I want to exile this Planeswalker, please. Oh, didn't work. My card is bugged. Like... how do I win this game? We have an Ixalan's Binding nuclear. We have one Ixalan's Binding and we have 2 Teferis that can remove the Rao. I think I need to find one of those like literally this turn, or else the game ends. Because they untap with counter magic up to protect the Rao. Yeah, we can still jump stuff if we whiff, and we can also just draw a Teferi, like an English champion. Have I tried Sultai Control? We tried that for the last league, it sucked. Although our list was not great against the matchups we faced, sadly. So it's possible Sultai Control is fine, and maybe our list was just poorly positioned. Contempt is a problem. It doesn't even put a card in our yard for this search. Just gonna main phase this, try and find a Field of Ruin. Or a land drop. Did we use the 5-0 list? We used Andrew Tenjum's list. I do not know what the 5-0 list is. If the 5-0 list is the same as Andrew Tenjum's, then yes, otherwise no. Sinister Sabotage? Nope. Just nothing. That's pretty surprising. Alright. Two Vraskas, 2 Tarnish Irons. In which case, that was not the list we ran. We ran a list that was playing like Khans and treasure maps. Whoa, are we gonna get punished for running out the search? Getting kind of punished here, because we really wanted to scatter this and save our Devious Cover-Up. It means that now I can't activate Azcanta. I figured if I was Devious covering up a Planeswalker, I wouldn't get to activate Azcanta anyway, so... yeah... we appear to be dead again. This Devious Cover-Up looks heinous here. If this was a 3-mana counter, if this was a Sinister Sabotage... then we'd like be in with a shot. Lava Coil, oh my god, we're so lucky. I would like a Lava Coil. Thank you for asking. You asked so kindly, Dak. I really appreciate it. No reason to jam the second Azcanta. Yeah. My thinking was that if they drew a Field of Ruin, I kind of wanted to be able to immediately flip the new Azcanta and not have to, like, get it underneath counter magic, but maybe you're right. This is a nice one. We do need to find our own Field of Ruin at some point, but their Azcanta seems worse than our Azcanta, so that's nice. I want to keep this card, kinda. I also want to find a land so I can, like, cover up, use my Azcanta is the problem. So I think I'm just ditching this Teferi. It just, like, plays into their contempts a lot. Yeah, this is great. Land drop is excellent here. Lets us double spell nicely. Or activate Azcanta and cast a spell. Either is great. They found a Fort Erasure. Okay. What are we doing about that? I guess I just let that resolve. Because then I get to use all my mana on Insight plus Azcanta. Yeah. Makes sense. I just let this resolve because I have Insight plus Azcanta to use my mana on anyway. Like, obviously resolving the cover-up's kind of nice because we can shuffle in some good cards, but this seems like a better use of our mana. Ooh, Thief of Sanity, huh? That's low-key terrifying magic card. Mission briefing for scatter? No, we don't have quad blue. Mission briefing for Lava Coil works though. Kinda wanted to cast an Insight this turn is the thing. I could take the Cleansing Nova, discard the Cleansing Nova to an Insight. Or just like not cast the Insight and just accept we have a bunch of good cards in hand already. Like missing our land drop sucks, but guess that makes sense. Alright, Thief resolves. Lava Coil is a sorcery hurts, it does. I think this is fine there. We get to binding the thieves, which is like really good, right? Just like never have to worry about them casting any more of these. I'm dropping frames again. Come on. Sorry about this. Nice Jarvis claps going on there. I should be back in a moment. Alright, we're now streaming again. I don't know what's been going wrong today. We haven't had this happen in a long time, right? Yeah, we're good now. We're back. I kind of want to hit my land drops, but I guess I'm also like, because then I get to like activate Azcanta more, which is nice. So I don't mind keeping this. Yeah, we need blue sources as well. This isn't a blue source. I'm going to put it in my graveyard on the basis of it not being a blue source, I think. Because drawing a blue source is really nice here. we very specifically don't want to use up blue sources this turn if we can help it, I guess. Good morning, Max. No, something's wrong on my end, Caius, but I don't know what it is. It's like we used to have these troubles like a couple months ago, and then they just stopped. They seem to have started again today, but we haven't had it happen in such a long time. Hey, Amy. Is there any future for Selesnya tokens? Selesnya tokens are really good. The deck is very good. Definitely a future for it. I've always been really impressed with tokens when we played it on stream. Ooh, we can resolve a big explosion. I think I just want some Ionizers though. Ionize seems great here. It's like exactly what we want to be finding. Alright, I'm going to keep this land this time. We've got lots to do with our mana. Oh, we're just having problems with the stream dropping. Briefly, Amy. It's happened twice today. It's like kind of annoying. Found a Lava Coil. Strong magic card. This binding, I assume they have lots of Thief of Sanities in hand at the moment. They must have like 4 Thief of Sanities in their deck as like part of their win cons that just look embarrassing right now. Chemister's Insight. Why, yes, I would like to draw 2. Sounds excellent. Yeah, the duresses are scary. I think pre-board were a favourite though, because our removal is online and theirs isn't. Once we resolve this cover-up, we probably can't lose. Put 4 pieces of gas back in the deck here. Oh, that makes sense, Amy. Yeah, I don't know why it's been happening. I need to look into it. Alright, well, fire off this Azcanta again. Keep drawing cards here. I kind of want a Planeswalker at some point. I don't know. I'll just draw cards for now. Drawing cards is great. We do want all those cards. We'll find them again soon enough. I'm sure. I am sure we will see them soon. Some sunny day. Hey, Field of Ruin. Get to shuffle all those cards back in on the bottom. Right, I need to start playing faster. This game is going to go on forever. So I do this after the Azcanta activation to shuffle bad cards back in. Because they probably put bad cards on the bottom, most likely. Like lands and stuff. I think next turn I might just Cleansing Nova the stupid Chupacabra. Stop taking damage from it. Also just like gets a card out my hand, right? It's not the end of the world. Time. Yeah, this is game 1, Amy. This is game 1. Time is definitely a concern right now. Oh my god. I would be surprised if we don't get into the red zone this game. This match. Ooh, Negate. Could just take this Rao, I guess. I guess Rao is good. We could also have drawn 2. It just doesn't matter. Not much really matters at the moment. Cast my Ral Zarek. Ral Izzet Viceroy. Kill your puppy. You're really considering subbing to the $10 tier? Oh my god. That emote is going to see a lot of work. Oh, I could maybe have countered that. I kind of want to... I do need to cast this cover-up at some point. But I also need to make sure it resolves. Otherwise it's going to be really hard to actually win the game. Like, I really need the cover-up to actually resolve, is the thing. Whatever, I'm just going to leave those in my deck, rather than taking cards out of the deck. None of them are Planeswalkers, I don't really care. We can counter our own things if we need to, by the way, with the cover-ups. Oh wow, Phil. That's exciting. Nucleo resubbing up to the tier 2 sub. Thank you so much for the extra support. I'll put some autumn times in chat to celebrate your new emote gain. Well, we can just kill people with these. I only just realized that. That's actually kind of messed up. Just get to kill our opponent with explosion soon. Yeah, we need to explosion our opponent out. For sure. That is part of the plan. The UCG Lewis. I did not see that clip yesterday, Mike. I did not. So we have 2 explosions in the deck, right? So we deal X damage and then draw X cards. So we can deal a lot to you and draw a lot of cards. I think I'm just gonna do it for this. Hold up 1 counter. 7 seems pretty good. Oh, we can mill them. We can mill them too. I think the first one I'm just going to draw cards for myself, and then the next one's going to target them. So many cards. We can win with this. We kill them with this one. We also have Teferi. We have everything. We have Cover-Up to, like, shuffle cards back in. We're fine. We are A-OK here. Autumn 6 deck. Oh my god. Alright. What am I doing? Casting cards at random is what I'm doing. Not sure exactly what we're doing here, but we'll get there. We're doing something. We're doing something. Whoops, I did not mean to discard that one. It doesn't really matter, because we're probably discarding something like that anyway. Regardless of what we do here. Right, this time we get to explosion them, then we get to mission briefing and explosion. New emote is gas. New emote is great. I'm glad you enjoy it, Nucleo. Alright, do we have enough? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can't quite kill them with the explosion. So I guess we wait on it a turn. Let's just like make them draw cards. Like, what can they even draw we're scared of? Alright. Not gonna lie, this is not the best played ending to the game in the world, but I think it's probably gonna work. Loose. Exceedingly loose. Caius did. It was really exciting. I was very happy to see that. Whoa, they went to free? Jeez. So we now just have... The mission briefing is just lethal if we can get it to resolve. So that's nice. The Ionizers are also pretty lethal. First game, 9... Yeah. This is an autumn stream. These things happen. These things, they have been known to happen. Alright. Mission briefing. Cast explosion. Put on top, because I would like to not die. Explosion U. Loads of time. 8 whole minutes. We've got some whales on our board. We're going to be fine. Triple explosion for lethal. Easy peasy. Just the easiest. They're going to have like 3 contempts in hand, but that's fine. Syncopate. Yeah, cover-up's not looking terrible here by any means. Probably all... Yeah, I think it's something like that, King. Something along those lines. Alright. That was a game 1. We have loads of time. We're fine. We're not losing this. I kind of want these Nezahals. I feel like the game gets to that point. I think these Cleansing Novas are trash tier, as are these Clarions. These Strokes seem great. I kind of want the Gates too. Honestly, a bit of me wants Banefire. Like, Settle is also really bad against them. It's so awkward. Our removal's just, like, not good against their deck. But I guess Banefire can kill a Thief of Sanity in a pinch, too. Oh my god, the anxiety from those time emotes, Nucleo. Banefire plus mission briefing, jeez. That is something. We burn now. Burn them all down. So we just try something like this. Kinda want room for the 4th one of these, but I just don't know what I'm meant to cut. Like, they do have plenty of creatures we care about. I guess with our clock as it is, we're never actually going to have time for the Devious Cover-Ups, huh? Since we don't have much time on the clock. That is a reasonable point. So I could bring in the Clarion as like another answer. I think I'll have the 1 cover-up. But our clock as it is, we're never actually covering them up. Yeah, Banefire just seems very good. I agree. You can kill our opponent or kill a Thief of Sanity or a Planeswalker. It's really nice here. Definitely keeping. They have mulled to 6 and kept. Yeah, Lyra wins quickly, that's true. That's like a nice upside to Lyra if we board her in. Alright, I'm going to be focusing very little on chat now, because I have to win this game. Cannot afford to lose this game. So I'll only be glancing over at chat very occasionally. Took the Ionize. Gross. Glancing over just in time to see the time emote. Sure. What? Okay. Aggro Rao is go. Please no Spell Pierce. Thank you. Awkward. Please no Warboss, etc., etc. No! We got! We got so bad. Jeez. We actually just got destroyed there. That is a solid yikes, indeed. This might be a quick game. Come on, I can tap mana. I know how. Problem is, they can kill this Nezahal pretty easily. Because we only have the one card in hand. Concede, move on to the next game. Yeah, that might be reasonable. This game has been abrupt. What's the auto tap? The thing is, I think I changed it reavowed, and then I forgot what I changed it to. Which is kind of awkward. Contempt. Doom! Doom! Alright, well, attack my Rao, I guess. Free instants and sorcery is cool. Keyboard icon at the bottom. Excellent point, Nucleo. You're just playing limited here. 7-7 beating up on the 6-6. So to auto mana we need to 4. Okay. Apparently we need to hold 4 to auto mana for some reason. Yeah, our hand's pretty absurd. Our hand is pretty unreasonable right now. Whoa! 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 I was not expecting them to have shock post-board, so I F6'd. What the hell? Why do they have shock in their deck post-board? Oh. Jeez. What is this? That's a good draw. Alright, we have a plan. We have a plan, people. Ionize plus Banefire is go. Easy 2-minute win. Easy. Easy. Nice Doom Whisperer. Doing our job for us. Nice Doom Whisperer. Do we need a land? We do. Alright. Let's fire off this Insight then. No land. No! Oh. Oh wait, they took 2 off the Notion Rain. I'm stupid. I'm paying attention. Yeah, they took 2 off the Notion Rain. They killed themselves with their Notion Rain, right? Just like the dream. Would like to Banefire you, friend. I love how we just, like, punted that game as hard as we possibly could and then drew a Banefire. I liked that. That was strong play. Tried our hardest to lose. Deck just wouldn't let us. That's what OP did. Yep. It's not punting if you win anyway. Oh, I'm so happy. That game was wild, it was. Oh my god, we got there, we got there. Sounds a bit awkward, but I'm gonna keep. I must admit, I've liked a lot of the stuff about the deck, but the mission briefings are like the tiniest bit awkward with how many blue sources we have. Ooh, another blue source. It's pretty nice. There are no misplays, only hilarious BM. Words to live by. It's not a bad draw. I wonder what they're on. Are they on Esper? If they're on Esper... Yeah, weirdo Esper draw. Interesting. Yeah, they're on Esper. Heat Checker. That's why they're playing Isolated Chapel. If they're on Esper, I could just shock myself to have more blue mana in play. Aw. Sorry to hear that, Amy. They're just gonna field my field. Oh, they're gonna field my Steam Bands. Yeah, fix their mana here. Fielding my field would be loose. I guess this just resolves. Yeah, I didn't like Esper very much. I was not very happy playing Esper. It's probably pretty good in control mirrors. I could see Esper being favoured in the control mirrors. Because they have Chromium main deck, and they have Vraska's Contempts that are really nice, but... I was struggling to buy a win with Esper. It was really awkward. Right, I just want to resolve my Insight. They could Syncopate it, which is brutal, but... Other than Syncopate, I don't really mind what they do here. God damn it. Why do I speak? Oh no, now we resolve Teferi. Never mind, we're great. Never mind, everything is perfect. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful, magic is great, opponents concede. Yeah, I get that distinct suspicion too, Ty. I get that distinct suspicion. Oh. Does Field of Ruin fizzle fielding a field of... something like that? I can't quite pass that sentence, Ivanolo, but I'm gonna go with yes. How's the deck looking? We're currently 2-0, Ty. It's actually been not bad. I've been enjoying it. Teferi, Contempt, Eldest Reborn, Banefire, Rao, Vivid Renewal. Oh my god. Nucleo. Jeez. I think I'm going to assume they're on stock Esper until I see otherwise. So we need to be able to kill Chromium, so we need the Novas because of Chromium. So the Novas are actually good. Thief of Sanity, yeah. Thief of Sanity is scary. I don't know what we do about that. We have Banefire for Thief of Sanity. Like, the scatters are obviously not great either. It's like, of this stuff, what stuff do we want against Thief of Sanity? I don't think we want Settle. Because Settle's like really bad against the counterspell deck. Hey Jadine. Thief of Sanity is very Heart Eyes. I am a fan of Thief of Sanity. Apart from when I lose to it, then I'm less of a fan. The problem is none of the other like cards are good against them. None of these line up against Chromium at all if we're hedging against Thief. So maybe we just have to bring in keep in a Settle. It's kind of miserable to do that, but I think it's probably correct. I don't think I want Lyras. We already have plenty of like threats to tap out for, so you hope they take our Devious Cover-Up and cast it against us. I do not hope that. I decidedly hope the opposite. They have been pretty short control mirrors. The games have been abrupt. That is for certain. We're having lots of like 2-minute games or one person just like concedes because the other person's resolved a Planeswalker. It's kind of ridiculous. Oh my god, Phil. Hey, I'd be very okay with that. If nothing else, they don't play Tron. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Autumn JD stream. It has to happen at some point, right? Yeah, it was great. It was very enjoyable. I want to like field this and I hope they don't. Everyone's playing at Plains now is the problem. Can't even go for the greed field. Autumn JD in stream. Literally confirmed. Heard it here. Orc. Alright. So they're gonna draw two. Problem is, because they're on the play, their draw two is actually good, whereas ours is bad, because we have to discard. There was a lot of legacy. It was, we played Temur Delver with, and we played Temur Delver, and then we played Blue-Red Delver with some Bomies. Because Bomie is Bay. Bomie makes everyone happy, if we're being honest. Kind of want to counter this just to get a card out of my hand. Like, I got the Field of Ruin, so I almost don't care about it, but I just kind of want to get a card out of my hand. Is that terrible? It's probably terrible. I want to have double counterspell open next turn too. Herm. I need double counterspell open at some point soon. Otherwise they go like Duress into Teferi. Things get pretty rough. Guess this is resolving. There's also like some amount of motivation to counter it because we need a third blue source at some point. Like third blue source is also appealing. Off a Field of Ruin. Right, kind of punished. Drew a Negate. Would have been fine. Could have dumped a card from our hand. The reason I really wanted to dump a card from my hand is because then the Insight is actually a draw 2, whereas at the moment it's like weirdo looting effect, which is not terribly exciting. I do not want to field them, because then if they draw a field... Yeah, I just can't field for an extra blue source at the moment. That makes sense. I'm going to fire off my draw 2 into the Maw of a Syncopate. Cool. I am entirely okay with this exchange. Get a counterspell out of their hand. It's like we'd have had to discard a card anyway. So this is A-okay. You might want to try refreshing Hexeris. I think you're lagging behind the stream by like about a minute or so. If you refresh, it should reset you closer to where we are in the stream. I really want this blue source, but I also don't want to expose myself to them fielding my field. So I think I just can't go for it. But we just have to. I just need triple blue, the way my hand looks. It's just like too important. Nuclear disappeared. No. Yeah, the mission briefings have not looked great. I agree. They've just, they've looked too blue mana intensive. Like, I think the effects looked nice. The game where we killed our opponent with explosions, being able to mission briefing explosion, like having that as an option in the late game was really strong, right? That was really impressive. I don't know if that casting this now is even good. They go like Contempt, untap, Teferi. We lose our whole hand. Most of our hand. If they have a Chromium, I need to be able to race it though. We like can't answer a Chromium at the moment, and they shocked themselves. So they're kind of representing Chromium. And technically we win the race against Chromium at the moment. Just about. It's probably the most serious, like, the Bomi stream confirmed hyper serious. Yeah, I just need to be able to race a Chromium, so I have to jam Nezahal here. Hey! Look at me knowing what cards are in the format. Which archetype do I prefer? Control mid-range? I prefer the best deck in the format, generally, but outside of that, I prefer control and mid-range. I feel pretty happy playing control or mid-range. I'm pretty uncomfortable playing things that aren't those. The decks that make prison decks, etc. Yeah, those are also okay with me. I'm coming to Teferi. Bona. Right. That's a problem. That is certainly a problem. I am not convinced we can win anymore. I say as my opponent puts a Vona into play. I know, but Esper's been playing Vona. Rossum was playing 2 Vonas in his sideboard at the previous Open. So this might mean they're just on Rossum's list. The idea is it's a Lyra that you can actually cast with your mana base. And that can kill an Experimental Frenzy, which Lyra cannot do. Yeah. Not really sure what I do here. I guess I have to attack and, like, pretend I have a Banefire. I don't know. I guess I can attack and draw into Banefire. That's like kind of legit. I think the real answer is we're dead. I suspect that's the real answer. I can mission briefing into Nova, but there's no way it resolves. We're bringing in Lava Coil next game. I could have played out that land. I'm kind of treating it as discard fodder for Nezahal, but maybe that's incorrect. Maybe I just want to be able to like max Banefire. Yes, one argument for playing out the land is it gives us it gives the if we played out the land and they like cast some non-creature spells to fight over Nezahal here, we get to potentially draw into enough mana for Nova plus double negate. It's like not impossible. Yeah, the Vona has lifelink, sadly. Vona looking kind of amazing here against all odds. Row. That is not the best Row I've ever seen. So I have to mission briefing into Nova to... they have a Sinister Sabotage in hand. That is awkward. That makes that line not terribly good. Alright, I yield. These games have been so quick. It's like absurd how fast these control mirrors are. Our first game. Is this our first game loss with this deck? That's kind of amazing. Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? We like 2-0'd both our first control mirrors. There are all our graveyard instants and sorceries somewhere. EOT briefing to set up by draw. I guess we could have done that. That is fair. Yeah, I guess we had to do that, right? It probably wouldn't have made any difference, but we could have hit a Nova. And then like untapped Nova with negate backup. I think Vona makes me want a Lava Coil over the Settle, since the Settle is like easily the worst card in the deck right now. Vona is literally Batterskull stapled to Turbo Visara. Confirmed unbeatable. No one has ever beaten such a Magic card. Oops. Just a sec. I am very silly. Alright. I would like to go first. This hand is acceptable. We need some counter magic, but we get down Search on the play, which is nasty. Batterskull's already stapled to a Germ token, so Vona is a. How do you fit the Germ in that equation? Is the Germ like sandwiched between the Batterskull and the Visara, or? Interesting. Just give me a moment. How is the volume now? Is the volume back to where it was previously? How about now? Interesting. I need to play with some stuff. Is this back to normal now? It's closer. Interesting. Technology, yo. Search for Azcanta on the play. Messed up. It's like underneath all the counter magic. wouldn't have been that. We've already got a Planeswalker. I want to find, like, counter magic. Also just fuels my search. Like, drawing a land doesn't feel great, but... We tried Grixis Dragons yet. We have not. That is a deck I would like to try very much. They have 5 mountains in their Steel Leaf Champion deck. Just good deck building. Ooh, Perfection. Chemister's Insight. Just like the dream. Have I tried the Crackling Drake deck? Yeah, we have not. Our deck has not looked terribly impressive though, if I'm being honest. Not looked like the most impressive deck I've ever seen. Steamvent's doing a solid amount of work. Right. Don't syncopate me. Oh, come on. Rude. Do we just slam Teferi? They could have a Negate. Negate, Syncopate get us. And then they untap and slam their own Teferi. I guess they need... So in order to punish us, they'd need Teferi plus Negate. Or Teferi plus Syncopate. And they'd also need their 5th land, which is reasonably likely. But okay, I think I might just slam Teferi. I don't know. I feel like if they didn't have an answer to our Teferi, would they Syncopate there? But at like the same time, if they didn't have an answer to our Teferi and they Syncopate there, it makes it look like they have an answer to try and like scare us. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna pass the turn. We have the search in play, so like technically their deck has the long game against us since Chromium is so problematic, but the search currently means we're ahead. I think. Devious Cover-Up. Well, that cannot counter a Chromium. It's also kind of expensive. I'm just gonna put that in the yard. Help flip my search. Oh my god, Kay. I guess there's also an argument for slamming Teferi on the basis that, like, our hand is pretty weak. So, like, we're pretty badly set up from that position. Like, our hand was very weak. We had, like, a bunch of lands, a Teferi, and an Ionize. So maybe that's just, like, the best shot we have at winning the game. Maybe this is the best shot we have at winning the game. I'm going to play my field out now, because I might end up discarding this island to the Nezahal. Honestly, Nezahal doesn't even feel that good against the Vraska's Contempt deck. It's like much worse against their deck than it is against like blue-white. But like, yeah, it's not clear this is even that good for us. Like, I don't think we can afford to pitch 3 cards to save it and then like have them just untap and answer the Nezi easily. But this way, if they slam a Teferi, we have Teferi Ionize back up to answer their Teferi. Maybe I have to let this go. Keep Teferi, pitch the rest. Like, if they tap out for an answer for the Nezahal, we get to untap and Teferi them. Maybe. Right, we need them to not have double negate here. If they don't, we can remove their Teferi though. double, or like Disdainful Stroke plus Negate, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we probably just weren't winning this game anyway, based on how this has gone. So if I save the Nezahal there, they untap Teferi minus on the Nezahal. We untap, cast Teferi, and they cast Disdainful Stroke. So like we end up in like an even worse position here. So saving the Nezahal wouldn't have achieved anything. And they had 2 strokes in hand, so there's like a decent chance they had one earlier, when we could have gone for the Teferi. As it is, we're probably just dead now. We're really... Like, one of the downsides of being Jeskai is you're, like, so much worse at removing Planeswalkers. So, this Teferi's just going to take over. I almost wonder if Nezahal's just not good in this matchup. It feels horrendous in this matchup compared to, like, blue-white. Like, it's still fine, but... You probably board it in. It's better than something we're boarding out. But the fact that they have Contents means they get to go like end step answer your Nezahal, untap answer your Nezahal, which blue-white really struggles to do, and Jeskai really struggles to do. Yeah, it has been Nucleo, agree. Yeah, that's incredibly strong. Alright. Well, if they don't have a counterspell, we get to recast the Search, which is something. That is a Sinister Sabotage. So I guess I have to let this resolve, because I have to be able to field the Search, that they only get 1 activation. Otherwise they get used Teferi to double activate their Search. And if they don't flip the Search here, I get 2 Flashback Insight in their end step. So like either way we have like a good play lined up. I guess I'm maybe just meant to fire off the field there. To give them less information with their Search activation. Alright, I'm gonna field them after Search has resolved, so that we shuffle lands back in. Now we need to do this now. I guess we do it in that, we're meant to do it in their end step. It doesn't really matter though. If they have a spell to like jam into our counter magic here, we're probably losing regardless. So it like looks like it matters, but it probably doesn't. We're currently on them having like a Negate and 3 blanks in hand. Mission briefing. That does not do very much here. So I could fire off the Insight to draw into Search, but then they just counter the Search. So I guess I'm passing the turn. Makes sense. Chemister, oh, Chromium. Just a Chemister's Insight. Alright, that's going to draw them 4 more lands. I guess we could have exiled that with the cover-up. We kind of can't, they just negate back. Doesn't actually achieve anything. Alright, so Insight, Ditch, Lava Coil. I guess I could have mission briefing to dig for a Banefire. Don't know. Throwing away this as like a Surveil 2 doesn't sound terribly enticing to me. But maybe that's just the world we're in right now. Draw 2. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna fire off this mission briefing. Because now I just want this Surveil 2, I just need to find a Banefire. Like right this moment. Hey. Put into graveyard, put on top. And then we get to Ionize the Vona. I did indeed. I mean, we need their hand to be essentially 0 magic cards right now. But we can kill the Teferi, so that's something. So we have to do this for 6. It's actually, they actually have 7 magic cards. Jeez, Max, you're right. How do we win? All right. Chemister's Insight is absurd. Like, once you draw the first Insight, the wheels just roll so well. Summary Dismissal still in Standard. Another Teferi. This might be the breaking point. They only have 20 cards left in their deck. We can't win this game. We know they have a Negate in hand, so the Teferi's resolving. And they're going to draw the Chromium eventually, which we can't answer. That was rough. That was rough. Yeah, the Nezahals are sweet against the blue-red decks. And against the blue-white decks. Against the Esper decks, they're just like a 7-mana 2-for-1. They just don't feel very good at all. Because they're so much better at, like, removing large creatures than we are. How would you board differently versus Esper, Hexeris? I could probably have conceded that game a couple turns earlier. Like, even if we answered the Teferi, they just had like 2 Insights in yard. They're just digging through so many cards. Oh, yeah, you need to figure out a different book. Yeah, exactly, Hexeris. I'm not sure what it involves, but The Nezahals just didn't seem very impressive there. This is fine. Hey, Freed. We are playing someone else's list. I accept no responsibility for these card choices. Another blue-black. This is wild. We bought into it. We choose to we change to a control deck and we immediately face no black-green for the rest of the day. Do you like Jeskai? It's felt reasonable so far. Esper was Garbo. Esper felt really bad. This deck's felt reasonable. Or Jeskai in general. Maybe going aggressive with the clerics. Yeah, like, get underneath them with turn 2 cleric. That could be... That might not actually be terrible. That might be the plan. Knight of Great... Yeah, if you really want to... If you really want to beat Esper, you just play some Knight of Graces. I know you're not normally meant to fight over this stuff, but this isn't a control mirror. This is like a mid-range deck, which probably makes it a bit different. I don't know. It's probably fine. Only Rossum can win with Esper, apparently. Sultai mid-range, kind of sweet. They cast a creature, I'm probably just letting it resolve. Yeah, like, the value of this is annoying, but I just want to insight here. Interesting. I guess I just pass the turn with my mana up. It feels really punishing in this format having to tap out for your sweepers. That's like part of what's like scared me about control decks in general. Like you tap out for a sweeper, then they resolve a planeswalker. I guess we have a Teferi in hand, so like in this specific situation we're kind of okay. Yeah, green-black is awesome. Green-black is, like, probably just the best deck at the moment. Green-black has, like, looked consistently great whenever we played against it. It's, like felt fine when we played with it as well. That is very reasonable, Freed. Okay. Sick. We can cast our Teferi here. But also just pass with double Ionize up. Like, they have like a lot of mana next turn. Or I could go Teferi plus Ionize. Do we think they have Negate? Not pre-board, I don't think. Yeah, Playcraft is amazing. Playcrafter is like a really impressive Magic card. Yeah, land Teferi I think is the line. I agree. That is what I want to go with. I haven't seen it there yet, Nuclear. It's probably like not far off the right power level though. Trophy. Ramp spell. Ramp spells are great. Clean 3-for-1 there. Yeah, now we have Insight up as well. Fort Erasure. Resolves. Choose whichever card you'd like. I don't mind. They're all yours. Enjoy. Oh my god, Mike. That is a 2/2 for 4 resolves. We do have to find a sweeper at some point. Like, not using a counterspell there is a bit awkward from that perspective. But we have plenty of sweepers in the deck. So we can now mission briefing settle. We don't quite have enough mana to still hold up Ionize, do we? We're 1 mana short. It sucks. I can go Ral Plus to take some pressure off me. I don't hate that. I don't know, Freed. What's the Salto mana like? You get 2 shot clans, so that's kind of nice. Ral plus Fine Clarion, oh my god, that would be really dumb. Alright, Settle was fine. Now we get to hold up Ionize, next turn have Settle up. I think Muldrotha just like... I feel like Black-Green already does the Muldrotha thing without needing blue, right? If you want to. If you really want to do Muldrotha, you just play the 6/6 that gets land back with Memorial to Folly. And that does like a Muldrotha impression in terms of how games play out. Troops can kill Ral then, right? Ral would be on 2. Sure. No worries, Freed. Easy mistake to make. Like, Ral was on 6 at the time, so you just look at Ral and think, oh, you -3 and have a Ral on 3. Rude. I think I'm still casting this. Keep my stupid Planeswalker in play. Whatever. Sure, we can Lava Coil the Branch Walker plus Ral out of range of the Seeker Squire, so I don't really care about that. I'm going to turn this mission briefing into an insight. The only way we know how. Honestly, the mission briefing's not terrible here. Because it's another Lava Coil. Maybe it's fine to just keep the briefing in hand. Not draw 2. We're already drawing plenty of cards, right? Yeah. This is fine. We don't need free counterspells. We always need free counterspells. Counterspells are great. Cleansing Nova. Or we can take an explosion to draw lots of cards. Yeah, this seems great. Coil the Branch Walker. Oh, we can go Lava Coil plus Expansion to kill things. That's also true. If they had a Contempt or Trophy, they'd have cast it by now, right? Well, they have a Find in hand? Okay. I feel like they'd have cast Contempt or Trophy by now. Because we've been tapped out with Ral in play. At some point before now. Or we can take an explosion to draw lots of cards. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, basically my thought process with everything. Could draw cards, let's draw cards. Alright. Counter your thing, I guess. Ionize is just delightful. Ionize is so good. No! However will we win? I cannot possibly envisage how we will win this game of Magic the Gathering. Alright, I guess if we pass the turn they can counter this, but then we have like mission briefing if that happens anyway. Kinda just want to hold up my Ionize here. Kill the Squire in end step. Getting ramped into an explosion, yeah. Explosion nasty. Boop. Boop. I could just draw 3 since we're going to have to discard anyway, but whatever. Drawing cards is great. They don't have a counterspell. Such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. Woo! I'm gonna have to discard so many cards. Whatever will we do? However will we win this game with all these cards we're discarding? Oh my god, Freed. That sounds so heartbreaking. Hey, Devious Cover-Up. Yeah, you can have a mana. Go ahead. I'm aware I don't technically have to do that anymore, but I guess we want to keep the Cleansing Nova for stupid dinosaur. Sorry, friend. I mean, we kept playing in the previous game, so some point soon they will yield. Yeah, this is the part where you just put your 7 counter spells on the table. So we're against Sultite. They're gonna have Negates post board, which is annoying. It's definitely annoying. I guess we want these Lyras against them though. Probably want Lyra here. I don't know. I feel like we want something very close to how the current main deck is, but Disdainful Stroke seems good. Lyra seems fine. What are we cutting? Settle was like decent those games. I'm like legitimately worried about running out of win cons in this matchup, but I guess if we're bringing in Lyras, that's not a concern. Just like take out these then, I can bring in the Lyras. Nezahal should be an Izzet. Yeah, that could be the case. That could be the case, Freed. Izzet's really, really good. Izzet has been terrifying every time I played against him. Just like grim. I think I can cut one Settle. Especially post-board, they're going to have Duresses and Negates that are really good against Settle. Even just cut all of them. We got Deafening Clarions and Novas. Let's try this. I'm just gonna head to the bathroom very, very quickly. I'll be back in about 1 minute. Is our hand good, chat? That's a resounding maybe. I'm gonna keep this. Obviously need more land drops, but I have plenty of lands in the deck. Oh my god, Kaias. And we are dead. Cool. GG. Was fun. Enjoyed it. Had a great time. Yep. Oh. Arguel's Bloodfast is a fun magic card. We have Banefires in the board. I might board them in if they're boarding in Bloodfasts. Seems like a nice way to punish them. Like, not even joking. I think I'm actually going to board the Banefires in. They also help us answer Planeswalkers, which are pretty threatening for our deck as well. Land. Not the perfect land, but sure. We have a 5 mana disenchant, we sure do. Not gonna lie, currently feel like we're 0% in this game. Something like 0%. G-Light Ranger resolves. Disdainful Stroke on top, yep. Let's just fire off a Lava Coil. Make sure we don't have to discard here. Deck is so good at listening. I raised it well, Caius. That's like one less card. Shockland. Shockland Bloodfast synergy. One less card. Blech. Yeah, I'm gonna be boarding in Banefire's Chaos, don't you worry. Definitely shocking myself. I don't know if we're slamming Lyra or not. I guess we know they have a D-stroke in hand, so that seems terrible. Okay, okay, we got there, chat. We figured it out. Yep. We got there, Freed. Right on time. I mean, they could have just drawn, like at the PT when I was playing Esper, I had someone draw, like, 8 cards off their turn 1 Bloodfast against me, and it just did nothing, because they drew, like, they just flooded like crazy. They have assembled a loop. Oh my god, Ionize versus Bloodfast? Jeez. Nasty. I'm at least 2 whole % to win this game. Oh my god. This was a blue source, we could Ionize them again. Tilt. Tilt! Alright, flipping your Bloodfast. Sure. 9 cards to my 6. They did miss a land drop last turn, so that's terrifying. Hey, Jim. Yeah, I agree, Freed. I'd have happily traded a Lyra for a trophy. Trophy land. But trading it for a stroke seems sad times. Ooh. Means we don't have a Disdainful Stroke up anymore, but if they trophy this search, it's pretty great for us. That deck seems sweet. Kinda jealous. Nice. I think I let this go, right? I just want the land. I want more mana. Yeah, this is fine. To go get another island here. Yeah, Temple helps against Ionize. For sure. We're honestly, if they just draw a few lands from this point, we're honestly in a fine position. We both have 6 cards in hand, right? Like, honestly, not doing terribly here. I say before they cast some unbeatable, uncounterable spell like a Carnage Tyrant. Raska. So this is probably the mission briefing turn? I don't know, I can mission briefing for Ionize in the future as the thing. What do I want to do here? You just negate? Yeah, that's my temptation. Then we can briefing and Ionize later. If they have a counterspell to fight back, we're pretty dead regardless. So I'm not too concerned about that. Let's just negate. Eep. Alert. 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 That is true, Bob, and that was a consideration. I just feel like... I feel like it's so likely they have 2 answers to Lyra in hand. So I'm not, like, too concerned about getting Lyra down. Well, now we're dead. Now we're actually dead. We can't really remove Planeswalkers very well. Yeah, we play around Spell Pierce, which is, like, actually a thing. Let's, draw a Binding Explosion. Doesn't quite do it. If I play Lyra, she just dies. Let's hit our land drops here. Explosion after a couple lands. They have a stroke in hand is the problem, and they're putting a decent clock on us here. I think I just need to fire this off. They also gain life off the temple if they're scared of something like that. I'm just gonna fire this off here. We're definitely boarding in Banefire for the next game. Hit our land drop. Can Clarion this Muldrotha. They got themselves to 4 bobbin. They had a Bloodfast in play. They had a Necropotence. Literal Necropotence. It's almost good. So we Clarion them, mission briefing, stroke the Muldrotha. Guess that is the plan. Then we draw a Negate so we can resolve Teferi. Important to give our creatures lifelink. Alright, pass the turn. Hey Dom, good evening. Muldrotha. In response. Oh no, I'm so sad to hear that, Dom. PPTQ grind confirmed, not great. Let's just put this in my yard. Probably put the Lyra in the yard too. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a Negate, right? Looking for a Negate here. I'm going to have to Lava Coil plus throw something into the Disdainful Stroke. Could also look for an Explosion. Explosion is decent too. I'm going to put this in my yard. Let me cast Disdainful Stroke. Counter your Muldrotha. Please don't have a Negate. That would be very rude. That is true. PPTQs are not long for this world. So the first thing we cast is getting countered. So I guess we cast the Rao first, because the Teferi can, like, technically answer the Vraska just about. And then we have to Lava Coil this to not die. Yep. There's the stroke we knew about. I mean, I kind of already miss PPTQs, right? I don't know. PPTQs, I actually enjoyed playing PPTQs back when I could, if I'm being honest, which I know is like a weird thing to say. Lots of people would find that very strange. Putting us to 1, what? Instead of making a token? This is so good for us though, right? We just like sweep their board a bunch, except they got back the Muldrotha, so we're dead. Cool. GG's. Problematic. Well, they got back a Bind Broker. Ugh. This is disgusting. This is wrong. Jeez. Is the Green Tron Nest I tuned still good in Modern? I think so. Haven't played it in a while, but it seems decent to me. I don't see why it would suddenly be bad. Yeah, we have plenty. Cool. I guess I'm flame slashing this. Slam Lyra in play. They literally have a Vraska in hand, sadly. They just got back Vraska with Fine Broker. So slamming Lyra results in Vraska eating Lyra quite merrily. I don't really know how we win this game, but apparently they don't have counter magic in hand at all, so that's nice. They have a Muldrotha, a Vraska, and a mystery card. They can only play one of their big threats a turn. I guess Muldrotha lets them play another creature. Then we have outs to find a Nova though. Yeah, we can just draw a bunch of cards. We're not like out of this by any means. We can like Clarion this token and cast our Teferi to tuck the Vraska. Muldrotha. What does Muldrotha do? I mean, we're kind of forced into this line regardless. Just have to hope to like draw an answer for Muldrotha. I think we're pretty locked into this regardless, I think. Even though it means they get a Muldrotha in play. If they have a land, they get to go Muldrotha Fine Broker. That's a problem. What about plus Teferi? Means they get to make another token with Vraska, but then we have Settle for the token. Yeah, you're right. You're right, this is good. This is definitely good. Right. Well, this game just got a lot harder. We need to draw a Nova. We need them to not have an untapped land. Oh wait, no, they can just do it anyway. Muldrotha's 6 and not 7. I'm stupid. Don't know how magic works, clearly. So they get to Fine Broker back something unbeatable for if we ref their board. Yeah, Fine Broker back Fine Broker, so now we can never remove Muldrotha. Yep. I mean, we can settle their board. So I guess we're not technically dead this turn. They get to use Temple to sack something though. But then we get to counter the Fine Broker. So they can't actually return what they sack. I think I'm boarding in the Spirits in this matchup if they're in on Muldrotha. I'm going to board in the 2-1 Spirits. Damn, opponent's smart. That's probably going to win them the game. Opponent is smart, playing around Settle. I can't remember if there is. Is there, Tommy? We have, a, what's it called? Picture the first time someone has correctly played around. It's a rare occurrence, let me tell you. They got a blood, oh yeah, we can't win anymore because they have the Bloodvast on line 2. That was an impressive Muldrotha. Alright, let's find some room for these Remorseful Clerics. I think these Lyras are not actually good based on that game. They looked really bad. We also want the Banefires. Yeah, that is true, Bobbin. Sultai deck, it looks really cool. It looks very cool, I agree, ideally. Oh, yeah, I know the one you're talking about, Tommy. That's a card I'd consider for sure. Do we actually want this? It, like, shuts down their value engine. I feel like we can do that with counter magic most of the time. It's just they drew too many cards off Bloodfast for us to do that. I think I'm just going to have more negates. That's better than this. Briefing also does not target. It is quite sweet. Yep, agree. Let's try this. I think the cleric's just like, it's really awkward boarding in the clerics here when we have Clarions is the problem. And Clarion's pretty important in this matchup, I think. Ooh, Shop with the tier 1 sub. Thank you for becoming a Knight of Autumn. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Means a lot to me, Shop. This is not an impressive Magic hand. I think I need to mulligan this. Alright, this is better. Has a search for Azcanta, has some Ionizers. Perfect. Yeah, this sounds perfect, Robin. This sounds great. Search into counters. They will get to resolve one spell this game, and it will be a Bloodfast, and I will cry. Oh, you wanted the 7. Alright, resolves. We have Banefire in our deck. We can do this. I believe in us. We do want lands at some point soon, but I also want to flip my search. We have the burn plan now. We sure do. Why do I call it? I don't know. I bring this upon myself. Shop. Bring this upon myself. Let's be honest here. I kind of want to aggro counter. Deny them life for their Bloodfast. Get cards in yard for the search. Maybe stop them exploring into their land drop here. If they didn't have the Bloodfast in play, there is no way on earth I would do this. But with the Bloodfast in play, it's like kind of appealing. Hey there, friend. I actually just want to hit my land drops now. I also want spells though, and I can hit draw 2s as well. And like this threatens to flip search, yeah. Great. So lucky. If they Assassin's Trophy the search, that gives us an extra land for Banefire too, which is awesome. Autumn time, yep, I am aware. That deals 2 to them. I think that's fine. Go for it, opponent. We need them to never duress this Banefire, but if they don't duress this Banefire, we're in a good position, I think. I really want to find a negate more than anything else. I'm going to ditch that. Get this search closer to flipping. I could cast that now to hit my land drops, but I want to hold up Ionize. Play it safe here. Ooh. Well, yes, I would like a land. Thank you for asking. Obviously, I should not have F6 there, but I'm not countering that anyway. So, doesn't really matter. Now we get to draw 2, hit our land drops here. Banefire is so disgusting against Bloodfast. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like almost kind of hilarious, honestly, how well it lines up. I'm just gonna hold that binding. Just go for the Insight plus Ionize line here. Yep, almost there. If they don't draw a discard spell. Discard is what we're scared of, but obviously they have plenty of in their deck. So if I Ionize this, I kill them with my Banefire. So I kind of want to Ionize this on that basis. I'm so happy. This is great. I am so happy right now. This Banefire has been absurd. All league long, this Banefire has been the dumbest thing in the world. No, they probably hold up a counter for our Planeswalker shop. They probably hold up a Disdainful Stroke for our Teferi. Is my thinking there. Woo! Nice Necropotence. Insert correct pronunciation. Oh my god, 3-1. 3-1 hype. Banefire just like busted. Banefire's won us like 3 games today because people just don't expect it. Don't expect or respect it. Unbeatable apart from that one match. Ignoring that one match. Unbeatable. That was pretty great, Aether. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty delightful. Was a fan. Unbeatable except when it is. I get a lot of things put into that description, honestly. I mean, I'm gonna keep this. Need to draw some lands of basic land types, but oh, the Sultai list looked awesome. Ideally, it looked amazing. Yeah, sure, Ty. I can do that. I guess I'd rather play the Fools because it's easy. It's easier to have the Ionize on turn 3 then. Then we can go Field Search, and then on turn 3 we can draw any untapped land for Ionize. Any untapped non-planes. Otherwise, if we lead with Glacial Fortress and we draw an island on 3, we don't get to have Ionize up. Oh, GG's Ironside. Your deck looked awesome, by the way. Can I have, like, a copy of your list? I really want to play it. Or, like, or at least, like, see it. I don't know if I'm, like, necessarily playing it, but it looks so cool. Finebroker for returning Finebroker is disgusting. Muldrotha returning Finebroker is even more disgusting. Well, that's not an untapped land. Also not an untapped land. Great. Cool. Orc. Yeah, Ionize is incredible. Ionize has been very impressive all league for sure, Craster. Alright, I kind of want this because it helps our lands coming untapped. We're also like playing a controlling mirror. Honestly, I don't know how we ever win a controlling mirror with this hand. If I'm being completely honest. I guess we do have search in play. Maybe I meant to dump the land on that basis. Maybe how I win a controlling mirror here is just like dumping the lands, hoping to draw lands and counter spells, and like turbo flipping search. Yeah, I can discard some of them. We do want some Novas against Niv-Mizzet, but like Niv-Mizzet is a scary magic card. Awesome. Another Ionize is a great draw. If we hit our 6th land, it's going to look really nice. Were you expecting the Banefire to Ironside? It's, after we lost game 2, we were just like, we can never beat a Bloodfast except if we draw this one specific magic card, so I guess. Yeah, that's what I figured, Ironside. I thought if we didn't counter the Fine Broker, you'd get to just hold up counter magic for like the Teferi or whatever. This is nice against Niv-Mizzet. I almost want to keep this, even though it like looks terrible in our hand. I'm probably meant to dump it though, and just like accept these are like dealing with Niv-Mizzets and feel kind of sad about that. Just to try and hit my land drops here and flip search sooner. Alright. It's not the best. Yeah, you can probably even mainboard Banefire, that's true Sacraster, and have that as your Planeswalker answer. That's actually interesting. Between like Banefire and Explosion, you just randomly kill people a lot then. It's actually an interesting, you can even like put lightning strikes as your removal then, right? Huh. I think I'm just going to shock myself here, so I can have double Ionize up. Our life total's not too under pressure here, so... Yeah, Sacraster. Well, it's actually like a legit way to build it, right? It actually sounds really interesting. Just like randomly burn people out. Gonna be Orc if the opponent Banefires us, oh my god. But I just want to fire this off. I lose my search answer, but I also flip this sooner. I think I'm just gonna cast Explosion and let them counter it. I think that's the actual plan. Just like fire this off for X equals 2. Deal X damage to any target. I draw X cards. It's not like an exciting use of the card, but if they counter it, I'm pretty happy. If they don't, it helps me hit my land drops and puts a card in the bin for search. Oh no, Phil. I hope whatever you're up to goes okay. If a while means like more than the next hour. I didn't know whether to interpret a while as like not watching it for the rest of the evening, or hey, we're drawing 2 cards. Draw 2, deal 2. Nice fight with fire. Nice Ionize. Now we can discard this Clarion to flip our search. Yeah, this is great. We're in a great position now. So far ahead on mana too. Obviously Niv-Mizzet is scary, but we can just like Nova to 1/1 and try and like get there that way, if need be. Or 2/1, 1/2. Insert appropriate order of numbers. It's one of those. It's one of those. Essence Scatter. I'm just going to ditch that. So I can start digging for planeswalkers that we can throw into the maw of counterspells. We will trade a non-zero number of cards for a non-zero number of cards. Did they have Field of... They're like hoping to draw to a Field of Ruin by countering our search? Maybe? I might actually try building a Jeskai control list that just has like a burn plan. Just have like lightning strikes, Ionizes, randomly kill your opponent with a Banefire in the late game. Actually does not sound terrible to me. It's like a very different way to build the deck, but... Hey, Teferi. I'm just gonna jam the Teferi most likely. Trade it with a counter. Oh wait, they're discarding actual cards, never mind. They're discarding actual magic cards, it's kind of amazing. So we have 5. We only get to hold up a single Ionize this way. I think that's kind of fine though. Or we could just discard the Settle and pass the turn here. That's also reasonable. I'm just going to pass them. I don't want them resolving... I guess I have a field for their own search. I assume it's not great Molly, but I don't know, honestly. I know I've always felt like Esper is pretty favoured against mono red. Because you have Moment of Cravings and Vraska's Contempts, both of which are just amazing. It's actually a little bit terrifying that they discarded a Drake from the perspective of, like, if that's the worst card in their hand. You know. What are the other cards like? Expansion Explosion. Well, yes, I would like an Expansion Explosion. I am really interested in hitting my land drops, so I don't have to discard. That's an interesting point, Sharp. You might have a point there. You might have a point. The thing is, the Wraths aren't that bad because we're like pretty scared of Niv-Mizzet. I feel like the Wraths are a bit better than they look just because we're so scared of Niv-Mizzet. I can actually just resolve this Teferi. You could get punished for this, but maybe we're not meant to be this aggressive with search active. Like, we're kind of winning the game already. But I don't know. Feel like getting something going, you know. Expansion, the Ionize. To counter their expansion. So they take 4. So they could definitely punish us here. They could go like Row with counter backup, and I guess then we just tuck the Row. Maybe they just can't punish us here. Maybe we're just fine. Maybe there's just nothing they can do. Like Niv-Mizzet, cast Nova, goodbye Niv-Mizzet. Or tuck with Teferi, or any number of things. I guess they can. I guess they can kill our Teferi with 2 burn spells, and that's fine. Oh, explosion. We figured out how they punish. Wait, deal free. Sure. We didn't figure out how they punish us. This just. We still just untap with Teferi and a million Ionizers apparently. Easy life. I do want to my land drop, but I get 2 looks at it. Between draw step and Teferi plus, so I think I'm fine ditching that. Huh. 3/6. Yeah, I was probably meant to play this tapped, since I'm going to get to untap and instep. I hope our opponent doesn't main deck Banefires. Then we'd be dead. Banefire going to be fire this match. Indeed. Do I care about this? Like, kinda? Kinda, sorta? Let's just find another Planeswalker. We don't have any Teferis left. We have 2 Rows, though. Problem is, like, if we try and protect Teferi from this, they're gonna get to kill him with a burn spell at some point. Sure. If we like nug them for a few of these Ionizers, I think we. Yeah, I agree, Hexeris. Nugging them for a few of these Ionizers puts them really soft to an explosion at any point in this game. It's actually, like, really threatening. So they're on 10. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the cost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it doesn't actually kill them. So I guess we just fire off this mission briefing to counter this and put them to 6. Yeah, they're not actually dead to the mission briefing explosion in our turn, so I'm just going to protect our Teferi here. And if we find a mission briefing or an explosion off the surveils plus our draw step plus this, then they die, so that's also good. I think I want this cover-up, even though it's not a lethal card. It's not a lethal card, but it is a good card, so. Seems fine to keep. I'm gonna go to 6 here. Nope. Plus Teferi. And we can activate Azcanta before passing the turn. Since we're going to get to untap Azcanta. Ooh, Rao. Guess we could also just cast this Rowzerek. I keep calling him Rowzerek. I don't know why. Just like, for some reason, I just think of him by his full name. Super team assembled. They can't fight with Fire us next turn either. Yes, I would like a backup Teferi. I'm still super formal with Rao. Yeah, we're not quite friends yet, you know. Opponent has conceded the game. Understandable. We're only 14 cards deeper into our library with 3 card advantage engines in play. What are you talking about? What do you mean you can't possibly ever win? Alright, Banefires. Nezis. Nezis are incredible in this matchup. Counters. He is indeed cooler and more... Those are words you could use, Imogen. I think those are generous words. We saw Drakes, so we have to be aware of that. I think we took out the Scatters last time, right? We just accepted we were coiling the Drakes. So, like, they draw a card, but we don't have to, like, hold up Scatter mana. We can actually, like, kill a Drake once it's resolved, okay? Maybe we only had the 1 coil. Is that what we did? Because I like the Novas against Niv Mizzet. Alright. Yeah, expansion explosion is awesome. Card is like actually just so flexible. Like all its modes are kind of unimpressive, but like once you have them all together it really adds up. This hand's awkward. Because, like, on the draw, divinations cause you to discard, but we can just play our hand pretty aggressively. Like, just jam a Planeswalker on 5 to trade with a counter so that we don't have to discard if need be. Yeah, it's gone up for a lot for me too, Ty. I think I'd agree with that, Kaias. It's like kind of close. I think I probably agree with that. Right, I'm going to play this just to represent a negate here. Make our hand seem a bit stronger. Play the Steam Vents tapped next turn. Alright, these are certainly some land drops. Okay. I think the game plan here is end step Insight into slam a Planeswalker to trade with a spell. Because they can't tap out for a Row on their 6th turn, because then it just gets tucked by Teferi, so... Yeah, go ahead, Ironside, I'd love to see it. Very much like to see it. It seemed awesome. Cool, thank you very much. Ooh, so the blue splash is really light. Alright. Interesting. And you have no duress because you figure you have 4 Erasures anyway. That makes sense. So this is sweet. I might actually just play this at some point. Seems like it has a better control matchup than normal black-green. Because of the negates and strokes. Probably help a lot there. I guess I could just cycle this land. Whatever. Just fire off the one from the hand. Yeah, it looks like a really nice list. The idea was to beat the mirror and control. Yeah, Moldrova definitely just like seems incredible in the mirror. Seems very tough to actually beat. This is interesting. They're just countering our card draw. Kind of okay with that, honestly. Because we just have so much card draw. We have like essentially 6 card draw spells, right? God, they have a Planeswalker. They have a Drake. That is less threatening. I think this is a good time to resolve an Insight, though. And we can slam a Nezi. Well, this is aggressive. Why do they care so much about our card draw? We're just divinating. Now we get to answer their Drake really easily. I'm gonna turn on another light, it's getting like dark in here. Am I Teferi tucking? They get to go Teferi really easily. Could also just binding this thing, but I kind of want binding for a Niv-Miz. So I guess this is the plan. It's kind of an awkward because it means they're going to redraw the Drake and draw another card off it, but it's very slow and incremental. Oh, they just had another Drake, max punished for not binding. Alright. I just wanted the binding as a clean answer to another Drake, but this obviously destroys us. Well, now we have to binding this Drake because we know they're drawing another one. So I think this is like kind of forced now. Expansion, your Negate. God, this card is so good. This is like so good. Yeah, expansion is just really impressive. Rao and Banefire for 0. Oh my god. Is Rao good enough? I've already liked Rao so far. I'm not sure if Rao's good and I think Rao's good enough. I think you want a mix of Teferis and Rao if you're playing Jeskai, right? I'm just gonna cast my whale. Make things tricky for our opponent. Just like very hard for them to answer this card. If they had Disdainful, it would have been gross tie. But we still have to go for it. Yeah, 4-1 versus 3-2 is pretty different. That's true. I would say Rao has felt worse than Teferi, but still very reasonable. This league. Like, I have been quite happy with our Raos. Whales and uncounterable fireballs, they're definitely a plan. I'm just passing the turn here, hold my land in hand as discard fodder. The whale's hungry, wants to chew on some fortresses. Worse than Teferi is such a terribly low bar. Ra's better in the creature dense matchups. I guess Ral ticks up to more loyalty too, which is kind of nice against those sorts of decks. Alright, Ral resolves. Is they gonna deal 5? Nope, they're just digging. A-OK. I think that our opponent might be dead. Get that distinct suspicion. Don't tell me why I get that distinct suspicion, but... Alright, wow, we got the 4-1. That's pretty nice. 4 Comp League, this Jeskai list. Nice 8 chesties. Let's open one of them. Just the one. We didn't even get to Banefire them, I know. So heartbreaking. Alright, I have regrets. I mean, maybe they just figured they could never beat the Nezahal tie. It's like reasonable. So, thoughts on this list. Expansion Explode. This card is absurd. This card is so good. Like, honestly, like, I'd be tempted for a third. It's kind of mana intensive, though. But the card was just awesome for us all league. So versatile. I really enjoyed the Banefires on the board. These were really impressive. Like, if I was to make a Jeskai list of my own, I think I'd actually just, like, put a couple Banefires in my board because of this league. The Banefires are very, very good. The binding was fine. Like, dealing with Planeswalkers is pretty hard in general. I don't know if there's a way to make that, like, a resolved Planeswalker easier to beat. You do have Teferi Tuck, though, which helps with that, and the 1 binding. I really... Submission Briefing's kind of tough from the perspective of, like, it was legitimately nice inevitability with the explosion, but it's so hard to cast, like, in the early or mid game. Just because, like, you need... If you want a mission briefing a counterspell, you need 3 blue mana, which we were struggling with a lot. More bindings on the board. Yeah, you need something for them. I'm not sure that's the right answer. The Banefires were nice against Planeswalkers too. That was like another upside of the Banefires. You think Lightning Strike? Yeah. Something like Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike does help Planeswalkers. You can, like, snag them. You can go, like, Strike plus Explosion to finish off a Planeswalker sometimes. Yeah, that's fair hit, Saris. I was not using these, like, very aggressively at all, for sure. I think the cover-ups are just, like, they feel a bit too cute to me. It felt like we could normally, like, close out games by just casting Explosion a lot if we needed to. Or Planeswalker Ultimates. So I feel like these could just be something cheaper. I'm not sure what, but... Yeah, this was fun. Enjoyed this. Thank you very much for the donation, Hexeris. Appreciate it. Enjoyed playing your Jeskai control list.